Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today is our art unit, and we're going to talk about things that have to do with art. Of course, art is a very broad category. When we think of the word art, at least for me, I usually think of painting, but art, of course, includes other things like music and performance and things like that.
Well, I wanted to mention, Tom, we often talk about two different categories. Visual arts, which of course would be the painting and the sculpture and, those sorts of arts. And the performing arts, which we're part of. I'm part of in particular because I was a singer. So, yeah, there are different kinds of arts. But if I hear the word art, yeah, I think of visual art too.
Right, so we're not really talking about painting in today's program, but we are talking about performance art, as you said. And in particular, I think we're actually talking about something called musical theater and the things you can enjoy if you go to Broadway. You can go there and see musicals. I think there are other places in the world that are famous for their musicals. Is it the West End in London where you can go see performances there as well if you're in the UK? But we're going to be focusing specifically on Broadway today, which is a major thoroughfare or a major road in New York City. And there's a section of Broadway where all these theaters are. So let's get to it. Let's find out what this is all about. Let's let the curtain rise on Broadway. There's a full house in the theater tonight. All at once, the lights dim and music begins to play. As the curtain rises, the buzzing crowd grows still. A lone spotlight shines down on a costumed actor who raises her voice in song. Suddenly, she is joined by a chorus line. Before long, the stage is filled with leaping, spinning dancers, and the audience is thrilled by the amazing scene. You're on Broadway in New York City's theater district. Here, marquees and billboards light up the night sky. It's a place where fortunes are made and hearts are broken. A place that both shocks and entertains us, yet always keeps us coming back for more. Generally located in Manhattan between 41st and 53rd Streets, Broadway is home to 41 theaters that put on the top stage productions in the world. Any stage actor who performs here has made it to the peak of the profession. Broadway has been around for a very long time. Its first theater opened in 1750, and as the years went by, the district grew, attracting theater-goers from all classes to watch everything from Shakespeare's plays to modern productions. A major turning point in Broadway history occurred in 1866 when The Black Crook made its debut. This was the first ever modern musical, and it was so popular that it ran for 474 performances. The Black Crook marks the birth of a new era in theater, one in which music, dance, and a dramatic story come together in an amazing show, and since then, Broadway has never looked back.
Okay, we're going to be talking about Broadway, which is located in New York City. Like Tom said, it's a big street that goes all the way north and south in Manhattan. Broadway musicals can be found along that road, but also it's in an area of little streets that are off Broadway, like 41st or 42nd and Broadway, 41st and Broadway. There are quite a few theaters in that area of town, and you'll know you're around that area because you'll see a lot of fun signs that are lit up in really pretty lights advertising that particular show. So it's a fun place to go see, especially at night when all the lights are on. It's a pretty colorful place if you're around Broadway, 42nd Street, around the time that the shows begin. So there's a full house. Oh, I wanted to mention something in the title. When a curtain rises on something, it just means it's starting. It doesn't have to be a show. It could be anything. A new business. So the curtain rose on this business back in, 1920. But if a curtain falls, guys, it means it's over. Maybe something's closing or it's no longer in business. So the curtain rises and the curtain falls. And you know the show's going to start once that curtain rises. Although nowadays you'll go to a lot of shows and there is no curtain at all. So it depends on that particular stage and how they want to start and end different acts that are in the musical or the play you're seeing.
Right. Well, I'm not quite sure how these things work because I've only seen one Broadway performance.
Oh, what was it?
It was called UB. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. It was to commemorate the famous writer of songs, UB Blake, I think it was.
Oh, no.
It had an all-black cast. It was quite entertaining. Lots of singing and dancing in that performance. But that, of course, was the only Broadway show I've ever seen. Although I understand that The Phantom of the Opera and The Lion King are the big shows nowadays, which we'll get to later on in our lesson.
Yeah, Wicked's still playing too. It's
crazy.
Okay,
and Hamilton's a big one, I guess. And what's the other one? The Book of Mormon was popular a little while ago.
Still on.
And Newsies, I think that was on recently as well.
Yeah.
So in any case, here in the first paragraph, it says, there's a full house in the theater tonight, which means it's packed, it's sold out, there's no available seat. All at once, the lights dim and music begins to play. Of course, you all know about that here at the National Concert Hall when a show is about to begin. They dim the lights. So here, dim is being used as a verb. That just means things are not as bright. They slowly get less and less bright. The lights dim, and therefore you know, we better get to our seat and sit down because the show is about to begin.
Yeah, it is a verb, but we also use it as an adjective. You could say, wow, this room is really dim. Hey, can you turn on more light? What do you got here? Nowadays in homes even, we've got light fixtures that are not just on-off. You can use a little dial, and it can be brighter and less bright or more dim, depending on which direction you turn the dial. Kind of like those lights. So as the curtain rises or the show starts, the buzzing crowd grows still. Before the show starts, of course, you're all busy talking to your friends and family, that you went to see the show with, or looking at the program that you bought, perhaps. Kind of a fun time. And then as the lights grow dim, you kind of stop talking because you're not supposed to talk, and you get excited to see what's on stage. You've got one lone or a spotlight that's all by itself. A spotlight shining down on a costumed actor who raises her voice in song. So with most shows, they've got regular stage lights that are always on. But if that particular show or musical wants you to focus on someone, they'll follow that actor with a spotlight, just a round spotlight. And if you're on the stage, you can actually feel if the spotlight's on you or if you're out of the spotlight. So that spotlight will shine down on whoever they want to focus on. Here we've got an actor or an actress who's costumed. They have specific clothes or things they're going to wear to portray the character in whatever show they're in. It could be a musical or a play. If it's straight drama, we'll often say it's a straight show or it's straight drama, meaning it doesn't have song and dance. It's just spoken words.
Right, so they often begin a musical with a song. Of course, the instruments will start playing, and then the costumed actor will be in the spotlight and start to sing, "When the moon is in the seventh house," or whatever song they're going to sing. So suddenly she is joined by a chorus line, which is a group of people who sing along with the main singer. A chorus line. I guess you could just say chorus itself.
Chorus, yeah.
That's basically the same thing. And before long, the stage is filled with leaping, spinning dancers, and the audience is thrilled by the amazing scene. So, of course, if you're thrilled, you are very excited. Wow, that's so cool. The music is wonderful. The dancing is great. The acting, I love the story. Oh, this is the highlight of my life. I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled.
Yeah, if you're watching a play or a musical, there can be different acts in that play or musical, Act 1, Act 2. Sometimes it's a 3-act play. But within each act, there are scenes. There might be, 10 scenes in Act 1. So you're pretty excited. I would be. I love to go see shows. You're on Broadway in New York City's theater district, and that's exactly what Broadway stands for. Just a district or an area in downtown New York City. that is referred to as Broadway. You don't have to be on Broadway, the road. You could be off Broadway on one of the streets. You're still in the theater district. Here, you're going to see those fun signs. I talked about them before. The signs will advertise the show and they'll have the stars' names on it. Those particular signs are called marquees. We also have marquees in front of a lot of movie theaters where they'll have the name of the movies that are playing. Not so much anymore. It's kind of a shame because everything's electronic now. But they used to have big signs in front of a movie theater with the name of the show that was playing, sometimes the actors' names as well. Billboards are those huge signs that advertise something. It could be a show, but it could also be some sort of product. I know it's kind of exciting if you, a model or someone who is featured in an advertisement and you get a big billboard down in the Broadway area. It's huge. You feel really cool and important. Or maybe your face shows up on the side of a bus that's advertising that show. Those are billboards. It could be a bus sign or signs in an MRT or the subway. But again, marquees are those lit signs that are advertising a show.
Yeah, I've also noticed that billboards have improved recently.
Oh, yeah.
They used to be just, a print on there with lights shining on it, but now they're using LED lights, and the billboards actually move.
Yeah.
You can see scenes from TV shows or from Broadway plays, as in this case. And you know something? I think that's about the midway point for today's lesson. So let's take a little bit of a break right now, and we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们首先来看到今天文章的第3个句子提到 As the curtain rises, the buzzing crowd grows still. 这句呢非常有画面，提到呢随着帷幕的升起，叽叽喳喳的人群声就悄然的静止。在这里呢 buzzing 它是一个形容词，来自于动词 buzz 指的就是人在那边叽叽喳喳的讨论着什么事情，我们可以加介系词 about。举例来说，他们叽叽喳喳的讨论着 Harry 的丑闻。They buzzed about Harry's scandal. 而在这里呢 still 则是有静止的意思。第一段就在形容百老汇的音乐剧呢要开始演出了。第一段的最后一句提到Before long, the stage is filled with leaping, spinning dancers, and the audience is thrilled by the amazing scene. 所以不久之后呢，舞台上充满着跳跃着旋转的舞者，而观众们则因为这样子令人惊艳的场景而感到兴奋。在这里呢 leaping 有跳跃 spinning 旋转的意思。Thrilled 在这里呢是被动态，表示感到兴奋的意思，来自于动词 thrill 有使兴奋使激动的意思。He was thrilled by the speech. 他因为这样子的演讲呢而感到很激动很兴奋。而在这里呢 the audience 则是指呢在去看这个百老汇音乐剧在台底下的观众。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue with our lesson. Of course, we're talking about Broadway in New York City, more specifically the theater district of New York. You've got marquees there, you've got billboards, and it's a place, Broadway there, where fortunes are made and hearts are broken. So yes, you can either make it or break it in New York there on Broadway. Lots of people go there to become a sensation. Oh, I've always wanted to be an actor. I want to act on Broadway, but a lot of them end up waiting tables or something, and eventually they give up and go back to their home in Nebraska or wherever it was they were from. But yes, fortunes are made. You could be rich there, or you could have your heart broken. It's also a place that both shocks and entertains us. Yes, sometimes the shows are kind of controversial, I guess, so they might shock us, but still, we're entertained, but they always keep us coming back for more. We just can't get enough of it.
So, where is it located? Well, generally, We're talking not specifically, but generally. It's located in Manhattan, between 41st and 53rd Streets. Broadway is home to 41 theaters. Yeah, there are a lot of theaters. I didn't know there were that many, so I'm even shocked. That actually put on the top stage productions in the world. If you put on a show, just means you stage the show, you hire the actors, you get everything ready, and you open, the curtain rises, and you're showing your show to whomever's buying a ticket. So you put on a show. You can also use that if you're in school. You know, maybe your class is going to put on a play. So you use that verb phrase, oh, we want to put on a play, teacher. We know what we need to do. We just need your support. So they put on the top stage productions in the world. Broadway's supposed to be the place to be an actor or an actress on a stage. Of course, there is West End in England, but it's still not quite as exciting as being a star on Broadway because America is so big. So a production, you know, would include everything that's needed to put on that show. We've got people who are on stage. We've got the stage hands, the directors, the costume designers. We've got all these people. They're all involved in putting on a top stage production.
And any stage actor who performs here has made it to the peak of the profession, okay? So you could perform summer stock, I guess, in various places around the country. And that's nice. It's probably fun. You can make a little money doing that.
Community
or maybe
theater, you
stuff
know.
like that, right? Or, summer theater or whatever. Or maybe you acted in your school play or something like that. But, hey, if you can perform on Broadway, you're at the top there. It doesn't get any better than that, I guess, unless you go to Hollywood and try and be in movies or something. But still, this is where you reach the top of your profession, which would be to act in musical theater. I guess most stuff on Broadway is musical theater, but they also have plays too, right?
Yeah, I would say it's not even half. But yeah, there are a lot of straight plays as well. So you'll find a lot of very famous movie stars and TV stars who suddenly want to be on Broadway. So it's kind of cool nowadays for them to be asked to act on stage. It's very different than acting in a movie or on TV. Broadway's been around for a very long time. Its first theater opened back in 1750. I didn't realize that either. That's really a long time ago. And as the years went by, the district grew. So they probably had a couple of theaters at the beginning, and little by little they added more and more. And they're attracting theater goers. Theater goer is anyone who goes and sees a show, whether it's a play or a musical. And they're from all classes. I have to be honest, going to a Broadway show, whether it's a play or a musical, is quite expensive nowadays. Probably one of the cheaper tickets would be around $75.
Wow.
They can go up, of course. I know Hamilton, my friend paid $500 for a ticket, and it wasn't in the front row. Depends on how popular the show is as well. So it used to be that people from all classes, poor to wealthy, they would want to go see everything from a Shakespeare play to modern productions because it was something that everybody enjoyed.
That's how you entertained yourself. You could either read books or go see a live stage show. There were no movies yet, no TV, no internet. So, yes, it was open to everybody, all classes and stuff like that. And as you said, it's kind of changed nowadays. You've got to have a lot of bucks to go see a play now. But you had a range of stuff, Shakespeare's plays to modern productions that have been written specifically for Broadway theaters. Now, a major turning point in Broadway history occurred in 1866. Just after the American Civil War, when The Black Crook made its debut. So this was a big or major turning point. Of course, we use the word major when we talk about something that's very, very important, something that we should pay attention to and that we should know about. And of course, the opposite of that is minor. Oh, don't worry about that. It's a minor concern. Or you might hear your boss say, hey, this is a major problem. We need to solve this or our company is going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, if you know about any of the U.S. history around the Civil War, you probably have heard that our U.S. President Abraham Lincoln was shot in the head while he was watching a play.
At the Ford Theater in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, he was shot by an actor who was not very good. Anyway, yeah, so we've been doing this for quite a long time. Did we talk about debut, Tom?
Not yet.
Ooh, that's a fun word. Yeah, it's French. That's why we're not saying debut. It looks like debut.
Yeah, it's weird.
Debut. Your debut is the first time, the public sees you. Maybe you're in a show. Maybe you're making your Broadway debut. It's the first time you've ever performed on Broadway. That's a pretty exciting time. Or maybe it's your movie debut. No one's ever seen you in a movie. Or maybe someone's making their debut as an author. It's the first time the public has seen you perform or has heard you or read what you've written. It's kind of an exciting time for performers. So that black crook, and crook means a thief. Bad guy. Oh, he's a crook. Yeah, crook is just someone who's stolen something. They may have been in prison before or not. If my dad doesn't think someone's very honest, he'll say, yeah, he's kind of a crook. So that's what that word means, crook.
I think that's what Nixon said. I am not a crook.
Yeah.
But that's a famous line from the Watergate years. But in any case, yes, the title of this particular production was The Black Crook. I'd like to look up more information about that. But this was the first ever modern musical, and it was very popular, and it ran for 474 performances. You often judge the success of a Broadway production by the number of performances. So, yeah, I think Lion King and Phantom of the Opera have had, countless performances. There are other ones that can count how many performances they had before they closed because people were losing interest or something like that. And The Black Crook marked the birth of a new era in theater, one in which music, dance, and a dramatic story come together in an amazing show. So that's kind of what musical theater is all about. I guess before that, maybe they had, operetta or something?
They did.
Or just straight operas or something like that. But this was kind of a totally new approach to it.
Yeah, opera came first, of course, where everything is sung, every word. Operetta, almost all of it was sung, but it was a cute show, and it was usually very happy. I'm actually really good at operetta. Gilbert and Sullivan, they're two composers that have written a lot of funny shows. It's operetta. And then we went to musical theater. There was a lot more spoken lines. Less was sung, although we still have a lot of shows where, they just will suddenly break out into song. So, yeah, it was a different era. We often will use this word era, guys, to talk about a distinct period of history. In our magazine this month, we're going to be talking about the Victorian era, or the period of time when Queen Victoria was queen over there in England. So, yeah, it did mark, or it just showed us that this was going to be a different time in theater, and we now had music, dance, and a dramatic story. We didn't have very much dance before, because if you remember back in history, women didn't really show their legs, if you recall. But things have changed, and we've got a lot more dancers. I love shows that have a lot of dance. And of course, there's got to be a dramatic story that's interesting to watch, and they all come together in an amazing show, and that's what we describe as being musical theater.
And, of course, sometimes those Broadway productions are made into films.
Yeah.
Then you can see them as a movie because...
Like Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's one of them. I don't know if La La Land counts as a theater.
It was never a show on Broadway.
That was never a show, but it's kind of like a musical.
It is a musical, though. Yeah, musical film.
Certainly. So, of course, there are lots of other ones, especially from the 50s and 60s that started off as a Broadway production and then was made into a play and stuff like that. So you can look that up. My father used to have soundtrack albums from these productions, either the Broadway musical or the film or whatever. So I'm a little familiar with musical theater. But we will talk some more about musical theater on Broadway in our next program. But right now we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
第二段我们要来介绍 Broadway 这个地方。第二段的第三句提到 It's a place where fortunes are made and hearts are broken. A place that both shocks and entertains us, yet always keeps us coming back for more. 它到底是一个怎么样特殊的地方呢？它是一个这样的地方 where， 请同学要特别注意，这里的 where 呢是一个地方副词，用来补充说明在这个地方，然后后面加的是完整的句子。Fortunes are made, hearts are broken。再补充说明 a place 是一个怎么样的地方，形容一下这样的地方是 both shocks and entertains us， 它是可以呢震撼我们又娱乐我们的地方，却总是让我们呢一再的 coming back for more， 一再的想要再回到百老汇这个地方。接着我们来看到第二段的最后一句，Any stage actor who performs here has made it to the peak of the profession。 在这里提到的是，任何一个呢在这里表演的演员呢，都达到了他的职业的巅峰。在这里同学可以从 who 开始括号，括到 here， 用来修饰前面的actor， 而后面动词 has made it to the peak， 已经达到了他的巅峰。而用 profession 这个字呢，特别指的是受过良好的教育或是专门训练者这样子的职业。举例来说，他打算以教书为他的职业，你就可以说 She intends to make teaching her profession。 第三段第二个句子提到Its first theater opened in 1750, and as the years went by, the district grew, attracting theater goers from all classes to watch everything from Shakespeare's plays to modern productions. 这个句子很长，这里提到好莱坞的第一个剧院，它的开始时间是西元的1750年。那么随着时光的流逝 as the years went by， 这个地区呢就开始发展壮大，同时 attracting theater goers from all classes， 吸引了来自各个阶层的戏迷，而他们观看的内容 from A to B， 从莎士比亚的戏剧到现代的表演都有。我们特别来看一下 attract 这个动词，就是有吸引的意思。比如说这个呢花园城市吸引了许多的游客，我们就可以说 The Garden City attracts many tourists。而百老汇的历史的转折点呢，发生在1866年，有一个剧叫做《二骗子》，它首次演出。我们在最后一段的中间的句子看到 The Black Krug marked the birth of a new era in theater, one in which music, dance, and a dramatic story come together in an amazing show.And since then, Broadway has never looked back. 在这里提到二骗子这出戏呢，它所标榜的就是一个戏剧新时代的产生，而从那开始呢，百老汇就一直蓬勃的发展。我们提到 never look back， 也就是有一直兴旺的意思。OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Okay, that's it for today, everybody, but please join us again next time when we continue to talk about Broadway. So please join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie. Bye.